So we're all familiar with the snake. If you've played one gig in one venue that actually has a decent PA system, let alone a huge stage setup, you're probably familiar with these things. It's one big cable that breaks out into 4, 8, or 16 different inputs and outputs, and sometimes we'll take one kind of input at one end and one kind of input or output at the other end. You can get these, of course, anywhere on Sweetwater, on Amazon, Guitar Center, but in today's more technologically oriented setups, you still have to set up 1,000 cables. Like, if you've ever seen one of my shows, I just travel with myself, a drummer, an electronic keyboard, and a laptop, and a little rack unit that powers most of our onstage magic. Now, the audio is one thing. They make tons of snakes for those. But they don't exactly make snakes for all the stuff I need. I have 4 switch pedals that I have to plug in, and I have MIDI, and I have video, and I have my own audio stuff, and a USB bus that's going all over stage. So if you're using a lot of technological toys, that can be another like mile or two of cables to set up. Enter this stuff. This right here, it's basically like Chinese finger trap material, and of course I'm gonna, put a link and a post in the comments or in the description here. This has saved so much time. All you have to do is buy like a spool of this nylon webbing and feed whatever cables you want in there, because I guarantee you're never gonna find a 1/4-inch TRS female to 1/4-inch male out on the other end, along with MIDI and micro USB and USB-B. This is my keyboard snake. I plug my 4 switch pedals into this, I plug my nano controller into it as well, and I plug the keyboard itself into here, and depending on which keyboard we've rented or borrowed, if I'm flying to a gig, I don't know if it's going to have regular MIDI or if it's going to want MIDI via USB, so I put both of those on here. This is my keyboard snake. At the end of the gig, if we have people helping me tear stuff down, they know that you just unplug this snake, coil it up, and that's all my cabling. Haven't lost a cable yet. This is my laptop snake, so I've got Firewire 800, USB, which goes to my hub, and both a VGA and HDMI connector on there for when we have to hook up to projectors for the animations and stuff we put on stage. You just have to compress it to get the cables in there and then feed it through, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Once you're done though, here's the important thing. Make sure all of the stuff at the other end is whatever, wrapped in good solid rubber here so that the ends don't fray. If you don't heat shrink it, or if you heat shrink it badly like I've done here, it starts to fray, which is not the end of the world. I could fix this with electrical tape, but I'm probably just going to cut this bit of failed heat shrink off and redo the job. I've got 3 of these that I set up, along with a couple of standard audio snakes, which means instead of setting up about 15 different cables on stage just for my station and another 5 cables for my drummer's station, we have 5. That's all.